This video will provide an overview of our Creative Services project management system. When you first log into the system, you'll see a list of the projects that you're associated with. So I've logged in with the sample user Mark, and these are his projects currently, and you can see we've got a serial number, the name of the project, status that's been associated, phone number of Mark in this case, date requested, and the date that it's due in market. So I'm going to click on one of these projects to review it. And at the top of the screen, you'll notice we've got a bunch of details related to the important information about the project. So that goes from the unique identifier number to the name of the project, what type of project it is, general things that are being done on the project, such as concept, copy, etc. What type of project it is, project rating, and we'll explain what that is in a little bit, whether it's reusable, and this is a customizable field that basically says whether that needs to be reinitiated, the project needs to be reinitiated like a certain amount of time from now, like a year from now, to modify it for new dates or something like that. A bunch of deadlines and due dates, again, who the initiator is, and then some details related to, is this a rush job, canceled, on hold. So we've got a creative brief here, and the creative brief is very customizable, but in this case, we've kind of made a generic version that essentially just lets the user fill out the basic information of about the project prior to it being worked on, so that when a designer gets it, they've got some basics regarding the project. They may, of course, call the person, but to find out more about it. But this provides some guidelines. Scheduling is a really important tab because it defines the entire schedule for the project. So you'll see here we've got four milestones defined, and this list is customizable, and we can also default. We can create defaults depending on the type of project. So you'll notice this is a display that's a Duratran, and so we created a default schedule based on that type. The system provides a flexible system allowing the managers to create default milestones depending on the type of project without any additional programming needed. Compliance I'll explain in a minute as well. Time entry and notes. So the system has the ability to track time entry for users. Now, not every customer may want to track time entry, so we can turn this tab off or turn the section off so that if you're not tracking time entry because it's not important to how your department works, we can turn that off. But project notes are a critical part of the system because they provide communication both within the department and potentially externally to outside users. So if you notice, we've got this little external checkbox. What that does is it will automatically send the note that's been typed in here to anyone who's been defined as part of the team on this project. In this case, based on the schedule, and the initiator. Design and production are where we deal with production details, print specifications if it's a print project, digital specifications if it's a digital project, quoting, which is done for vendors. So this is where we select certain vendors and then send a quote request, and then we can assign purchase orders as well. And then delivery is where we can track multiple delivery addresses. Currently, we're just tracking 5, but we have the ability to track an unlimited number of delivery addresses if the end user requires that. Digital Documents is a tab that provides for an entire content management system. So not only do you have the ability to put in regular documents that might be used as part of creating this project, but also we have a full proofing and proof approval system as well. So you'll notice that we have a requires approval, compliance version, and final version in here. And so that allows you to automatically notify people when a version of the document requires approval. Then the user can log in externally and download the document and mark it approved or not approved, and they can add their comments. Or if they've got Adobe Acrobat, they can comment, mark up the document, and then we can automatically integrate those comments into the system depending on the version of Acrobat that you have. You'll notice we also have a digital asset keywords here function, and that allows documents to be later searched on. So if you choose to add keywords to a document, that becomes automatically part of the digital asset library, and then those documents can be searched on at a later date. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project very quickly just to walk you through that process. We've got a step-by-step process for doing that. A new project is a brand new project. A modify existing is where we ask for that job number, that unique job number, and then we automatically pull in the details of that original project, allowing you to modify relevant information that might be needed, such as the number, the size, or colors, or photography. I'm going to click New Project. And again, we're being stepped through here. So this is actually a sample for a bank, and that's the reason I brought up the compliance question, because our compliance module allows a high level of flexibility depending on what type of business you might be dealing with. Or if you don't need it at all, we can turn it off entirely. But in this case, for this example that we did, it was for a bank, and so they had some stringent compliance requirements. So I mentioned the levels that were on that screen, and so what levels are, this is flexible, but this gives you an idea of kind of what a level can be. And again, automatically, depending on the level type and the type of project, certain milestones will get assigned. So if it's, for example, a level 4, we'll automatically assign a certain number of revision milestones in. And the way this works is based on the date requested, the system will automatically work the milestones backwards from that date. And what's great about that is, depending on the level, it'll automatically tell the user, prior to them even submitting the project, whether they've given enough lead time. So for example, if that project requires a month to get done because it's a level 3, based on this criteria that we set up, and they've only given it 3 weeks, we'll automatically say, sorry, that's not enough time for us to get this project completed. Please provide at least a month. Now, obviously, those can get overridden because that does happen sometimes. But we do provide defaults for those things, and you're allowed to modify those as well. So I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna put this to, let's say, September 26th, and it's not reusable, and it does need concept, but not copy, and design, but not printing, and translation does not need. Continue. And so now I'm taken through the creative brief. Currently, the way our creative brief works is, again, it's very customizable depending on the type of business that you have, but it also doesn't require any fields currently, but we can make it so that certain entries are required. So this is the second part of the creative brief. And then that compliance section, which again is totally customizable. Right now it's just a blank screen because for this demo we really didn't need to show anything. But depending on if you have financial documents that are required for compliance or consumer finance language that needs to be defined or things like that, we can do requirements depending on that. So now, because I didn't choose print, it's just asking me for the number of colors and what the finish size is going to be. So let's say this is like a JPEG image. So JPEG, and it's going to be 200 by 70, just as an example. And that's it. So now my job's been assigned, and I'll actually get taken to that project typically. But here it is, And you can see right now the status is awaiting scheduling. So until it gets scheduled by someone in the department, it's going to stay there and awaiting scheduling. But as soon as it does get scheduled, it will I'll get an email automatically. One last thing I wanted to add, you'll notice that we've got this assign campaign function. What that allows you to do is essentially say, I want all of these projects, let's say 3 different projects, 4 different projects, to be assigned under a rubric of a campaign. So this is just a test campaign. And so now when I click on that, notice I assigned it to that campaign, and I can now see these are the other projects in the campaign, and I can click to go right to them if I wanted to. So that's a really great way of linking a whole bunch of projects together under one marketing effort. So that's pretty much it as far as an overview of the Creative Services Project Management. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via our Contact Us section of our website. Thank you.